Did you know that allergies are your body's misguided show of love? It's like your immune system sending you a bouquet of sneezes, rashes, and hives because it mistakenly thought you were in danger. Now let's dive deeper. What exactly are allergies? Picture them as your body's overzealous security detail. They're like that overprotective parent who insists on accompanying you to a party, or a bad date that just can't take a hint. Your body is exposed to countless substances every day. But for some of us, our immune system misidentifies harmless substances like pollen, pet dander, or certain foods as dangerous invaders. In an effort to protect you, your immune system puts up a fight. And the symptoms that ensue are what we commonly refer to as an allergic reaction. We're talking about the sneezing, itching, and redness. It's kind of endearing when you think about it. Your body is putting up a fight for you. Just like that overprotective parent who insists on a curfew or that bad date who can't stop texting you. It's all about the body's hypersensitivity. It's like your immune system has its sensitivity dial turned up to 11, reacting dramatically to substances that most people's bodies would shrug off. The result? A cascade of symptoms that can range from mildly annoying to seriously dangerous. So, what triggers this overreaction? Allergens. These are the substances that your immune system wrongly identifies as a threat. They could be certain foods, dust mites, pollen, or even some medications. It's like your immune system's personal list of pet peeves, and it reacts to them with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Just remember, allergies are not a sign of weakness. They're a sign that your body cares, maybe a little too much. It's doing its best, but sometimes it's a bit of a drama queen. So next time you sneeze, remember it's just your body saying, "I care about you, buddy, I really do." Imagine throwing a party and having unwanted guests show up. That's what allergens are to your body. Party crashers. These uninvited nuisances come in all shapes and sizes and from some of the most unexpected places. Like dust, for instance. You know, those tiny particles that seem to be everywhere, no matter how much you clean. To your body, dust is like that annoying guest who won't stop talking about their latest diet or exercise routine. It's everywhere, it's persistent, and it's definitely not invited. Then there's pollen, the life of the party, always showing up in the spring and summer months. It's like that friend who brings a guitar to every party, insisting on playing Wonderwall for the 100th time. It may be a hit with the flowers, but for many of us, it's a one-way ticket to Sneezeville. And let's not forget about food allergens. These are like the guests who insist on bringing their own food to the party, despite your carefully planned menu. Whether it's peanuts, shellfish, or gluten, these allergens can cause quite a stir at the body's internal gathering. Insect stings, too, are uninvited guests. They're like that party-goer who always seems to cause a scene. One minute everything's fine, the next you're in the middle of a full-blown allergic reaction. And lastly, there's animal dander. It's like that cute date someone brings along who turns out to be a total nightmare. Sure, Fluffy may be adorable, but if you're allergic, those cuddles can leave you feeling less than festive. Each of these allergens, in their own way, are the unwanted guests at the party that is your body. They barge in, cause a ruckus, and leave your immune system scrambling to restore order. And just like those uninvited guests, allergens don't understand when it's time to leave. So, the allergens partied hard and now your body is dealing with the aftermath. Think of it like a wild house party, the kind you see in movies, where the house is trashed, the neighbors are complaining about the noise, and someone's pet iguana is now the unofficial mayor of the living room. In this metaphorical shindig, sneezing is like the loud, obnoxious party-goer. It's the one making all the noise, drawing attention and generally being a nuisance. It's your body's way of saying, "Hey, we've got unwanted guests, time to clear out." Then we've got itching, the awkward dance-off. It's uncomfortable, it's persistent, and it's hard to ignore. Just like that guy who thinks he can break dance but ends up breaking more than just dance. A runny nose is similar to the party-goer who's had a bit too much to drink and can't quite hold it in. It's your body's way of trying to flush out the allergens, much like how someone might try to flush out too much party punch. And let's not forget about hives, the uninvited guests who always leave a mark. They're like the rowdy crowd that crashes the party, leaves a mess, and then just disappears. Hives are your body's way of showing that it's not happy with the allergens' antics. All these symptoms, while annoying, are your body's way of telling you that it's fighting off those pesky allergens. It's a sign that your immune system is doing its job, albeit a little too enthusiastically. But don't worry, just like the most chaotic of parties, these symptoms won't last forever. Eventually the music dies down, the guests leave, and the iguana is dethroned. Your body will recover, the allergens will be shown the door, and you'll be left in peace. Until the next allergen party, that is. Remember, just like a bad party, the symptoms won't last forever. After every good party, you need a solid cleanup crew. In the allergy world, that's where treatments come in. Now let's imagine your body's reaction to allergens as the aftermath of a wild, uninvited party. There's confetti everywhere, the music is blaring, and you're left with a colossal mess. Sounds familiar? First up in our cleanup crew is the master of avoidance. This is like knowing the party crashers and making sure they are not on the guest list next time. If you're allergic to cats, for instance, it's best to keep your distance. But hey, we know how irresistible those little furballs can be. So if you do end up at a cat party, make sure you have your allergy meds handy. Speaking of meds, let's introduce the second member of our squad, the medication maestro. They sweep in with their broom of antihistamines, corticosteroids, and decongestants. They're like the janitorial staff, tidying up the party aftermath and restoring order. Remember though, they're not permanent solutions, but they do a stellar job of controlling symptoms when avoidance isn't possible. Now for those of you dealing with the hardcore partygoers who just won't leave, we have immunotherapy. This is the bouncer of our cleanup crew. They're patient, they're persistent, and they mean business. With options like allergy shots or under-the-tongue tablets, immunotherapy gradually builds up your tolerance to the allergen. It's like convincing the partygoers to mellow down, one conversation at a time. But here's the kicker. Not every party is the same, and neither is every allergy. What works for one may not work for another. So it's crucial to consult with your doctor or allergist to figure out the best cleanup crew for your specific allergy party. Remember, allergies might be tough gate crashers, but our cleanup crew is always ready for action. Whether it's through avoidance, medication, or immunotherapy, there's always a way to get your body back to its pre-party state. So don't worry, the cleanup crew is here to save the day. What's one way to avoid a party disaster? Hire a bouncer. But instead of a burly man in a suit, imagine a lifestyle that keeps allergens at bay. That's right, your prevention strategy is the bouncer at the door to your body's soiree. Let's start with the common sense advice. Avoid known allergens. If peanuts make you puff up like a blowfish, it's best to give them the cold shoulder. And if you're allergic to cats, I'm sorry, but you might have to skip that crazy cat lady convention. Next, keep your house clean. Dust mites are the ultimate party crashers. They love to hang out in your carpets, your curtains, even your bed. Regular cleaning can show these unwanted guests the door before they start causing mayhem. Now let's talk about the great outdoors. On high pollen days, it's like the whole world is throwing a pollen party, and your body is the unwilling host. You might want to consider staying inside with your window shut to keep that pollen out. But what if you can't avoid going out? That's where allergy masks come in. Think of them as your personal bouncer, keeping those irritating particles from crashing your nasal passages. So there you have it. Your prevention strategy is your personal bouncer, keeping those allergen party crashers out. And remember, it's always better to prevent a disaster than to clean up after one. Remember, a good bouncer can save you from a lot of trouble. Well folks, that's the 411 on allergies, the party you never wanted to host. From those uninvited allergens to the havoc they wreak and the body's incredible cleanup crew. We've also seen how to bolster our bouncer, the immune system, to keep these party crashers at bay. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you've enjoyed this party, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's a party here every day, and you're always on the guest list. Until next time, keep those allergens at bay.